Valedictorian of the class of 2015, who has been selected by a vote of the faculty from among the students with the 10 highest scholastic averages. Mr. Blake Allen Bordelon.
First, I would just like to express my thanks and gratitude for being given this opportunity to speak at graduation amongst so illustrious a crowd. We have Father Layard, Mr. Lojo, members of the class of 1965, members of the board, faculty and staff, members of the class of my own pals here in the class of 2015. So let's begin at the end, shall we? You're lying on your deathbed. It's been a full life. No doubt cut short by some unfortunate ailment or injury. Surrounded by loved ones, you feel more comfortable leaving the world and its issues in their own more capable hands. With a few deep breaths, you fade out of this world. We're all headed here, and can only hope that the circumstances match what I've just written. But why include it in a speech at graduation? I hate to be morbid, but I think the answer is quite clear. We're all one step closer. So now I'm sure many of you may be thinking, who's this melancholic, dark, brooding young fellow that got to give this valedictorian speech? But stay with me, folks, it will get better. It's important to note, friends, that we're one step closer to our departure from this blue orb of ours, because I contend that all meaningful events, all moments dripping with the sweet syrup of this life need to be measured as finite. We can't expect an infinitely large bottle here on Earth, and as my economist friends might tell you, as supply drops, the relative value increases. So actually, instead of dampening the occasion, if anything, we should keeping graduation in this context makes it ever more valuable. Many of you are probably familiar with the phrase carpe diem, or the expression of a similar sentiment, that is a call to live life to the fullest. We'll all be dead soon, the logic goes. YOLO, perhaps, in the lingo of the youth and salutatorians. So live big. We've already established that the end is nigh, and that life, therefore, is extremely valuable. But what lessons does this give us on how to live? Many people, when presented with this concept, may adopt a hedonistic sort of attitude. If life is short, why not live comfortably? They may look back on their 4 years here at Jesuit as a waste of time. I could have been laying out in the sun and playing video games and partying with my friends, but instead I spent my time in great discomfort. Yet, by the end of my speech, you will be asking a different set of questions in regards to your own mortality. If life is short, why not be excellent? Why not live full of love and vitality? Why not push your body to its limits and push the envelope of human existence? The key difference between these two splintering philosophies is their attitude towards discomfort, tension, struggle, challenge. You get the idea. The first group, the one that wonders why they haven't been lounging about, sees discomfort and pain as useless in short life. Adherents to the other philosophy, however, have realized a truth so simple, I could choose from several famous quotes to convey it. In short, though, these people realize that progress and growth are a byproduct of the struggle between us and our complacent tendencies. Over our last 4 years at Jesuit, 3.5 for some of us, we have definitely encountered the productive struggle. But in case you've forgotten, during the frequent napping and celebrating of the week prior, let's remember together. But before we delve into some of our common experiences, I just want to dispel any skepticism in regards to my own struggles. Many of you may be wondering, what does the valedictorian know about being challenged? What can Blake possibly have to say about difficulty? But let me assure you, my time here has been riddled with periods oh so dense of responsibility and time commitments that some days I felt like a metal rod under tensile strain, pulled not quite to the breaking point, but just enough to stretch. Sometimes I wondered whether or not completing X or getting back to someone on Y was worth it. I won't give you the answer that all of this was just to make college seem easy, because quite frankly, I find that reason unsatisfactory. My answer for why I chose to carry on was that I knew that I could do better. But by no means am I the only one among us who have experienced similar challenges. Remember the late, bleary-eyed nights of staring at web assignment problems where you've used all but one attempt, perhaps eventually coming to some grand conclusion about the nature of the universe, But then again, maybe not. Remember writing draft after draft of an essay or research paper to appease the overlords of the English department. The discussions, assignments, and arguments where critical thinking is no longer exemplary but expected. We've worked our minds like muscles and we're stronger for it. Remember the literal aching muscles. The long practices in the afternoon heat that leave you empty but pure. Throwing up at the first day of Jack camp, or so I've heard. The drills, the whistles, that little hill in the backfield. Remember the display of our grades' willingness to dig deep during the tug-of-war at our freshman field day. I was there for that, by the way. In the midst of these instances of discomfort, we not only maintain fitness and health, but grab the next gear. Remember the philosophical inquiry that eventually left your head spinning. Discussions and arguments inside and outside of theology class that pushed the envelope of your faith, but ultimately left it deepened. These 4 years have taught us that an unexamined faith, much like an unexamined life, is not worth having. Remember the challenge to open up to vulnerability on Kairos and other retreats that breathed life into your spirituality and made our bond of brotherhood indelible. Remember the moments when you were challenged to do the loving thing, maybe standing up for a friend or just going out of your way to help someone, or maybe just even giving up time to listen. The relationships formed in service where had you not pushed yourself, you may have simply slept in instead. Love, just like mental and physical fitness, requires a degree of internal tension as we fight to transform ourselves from men for self into men for others. So, if I've accomplished what I've set out to do, it should be clear that graduating at Jesuit is hard any way you cut it, but also that the difficulty serves a greater purpose in helping us become better people in every respect. I contend that the culture here at Jesuit, which so readily embraces discomfort and challenge, is not only rare, but is also extremely valuable. In today's world, there exists an abundance of opportunities for comfort. From drugs and alcohol, to soft IKEA couches, to sugary carbohydrate-rich foods, to online media services with thousands of movies and TV shows. There's nothing inherently bad about using any of these things. I mean, we all do need a break from time to time. Yet, for many people in our society, seeking out comfort and security is the primary motive. Addressing this topic with prophetic prowess, John Steinbeck writes, "I have named the destroyer of nations, comfort, plenty, and security, out of which grow a bored and slothful cynicism, in which rebellion against the world as it is, and myself as I am, are submerged in listless self-satisfaction." Thankfully, we have all been blessed to belong to a community counterposed from this attitude, one that is willing and eager to embrace discomfort, tension, and risk-taking. But what of the future? Well, ours is no longer simply a fight for survival, a hunt for game and berries. Our generation has no great war. Rather, ours is a struggle that holds the quality of tomorrow's world leaders in the balance, a battle between complacency and our better selves. We are not driven by extrinsic necessity, but must find within ourselves the desire to know we made the world a better place as we lay on our deathbed and close our eyes. You, my friends, have been winning in this fight. Continue to win. Embrace the adversity of life, but remember also to let loose every now and again. I love you guys. Congrats and good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Bordelon.